was reading out of Chuck Swindoll's book, Improving Your Service, a book out of the 70s, still a great book. And he gives a story in there that I thought was really, really neat. And he was talking about a young man who was in seminary, and he was looking for an opportunity during the summer to serve the Lord. And he prayed about it, and he prayed about it, and he was just waiting for something like a church staff position to come up, or maybe an opportunity to work with a particular Christian ministry. And he waited and waited, and those things just didn't happen. And finally, summer came, and nothing had opened up. And it got to the point where he had to find some type of employment for the summer. And so he finally secured a job driving a bus on the south side of Chicago. Now, being not necessarily from the Chicago area, he didn't realize how dangerous that was. But after he learned his route and they sent him out as a rookie driver, he realized he was driving in some dangerous territory. Well, a small gang of tough kids recognized this was a brand new driver, and they decided they were going to take advantage of him. So they would get on the bus every day, walk right past him without paying, and then go sit down and ride until they were done riding where they wanted to be, and they'd just walk right off the bus. No matter what he said, they'd do it every day. Finally, he got tired of it, and after they did it on this day, he stopped the bus near a policeman, asked the policeman to get on the bus, told him what the guys were doing. The policeman said either get off the bus or pay up. Well, they paid up, but they stayed on the bus, and the policeman got off and left. After the policeman left, they went around the corner, and the gang attacked the driver and beat him up severely. It goes on to say that when he came to, the blood was all over his shirt. 2 teeth were missing. Both eyes were swollen. His money was gone, and the bus was empty. He went back to the terminal. They gave him the weekend off, and he sat there beaten, physically hurting. But he was hurting more emotionally, trying to figure out how in the world did this fit in to God's plan. He said, how can this be? Where is God in all this? I genuinely wanted to serve him. I prayed for a ministry. I was willing to serve him anywhere, doing anything, and this is the thanks that I get from God. On Monday morning, he went into the police station and decided to press charges. The same policeman who had come on and helped him to get them to pay up helped him round up all of these gang members. They were brought in, and they were put in jail, and there was a hearing scheduled before the judge. He walked into the room, and there were the gang members, there was their attorney, and they were just glaring at him. And he sat there as the court hearing went on. And as he was sitting there, looking at these gang members and this whole scene, compassion came over his heart. And he began to lose his hatred for them and to see them as what they were, people who were struggling in sin. Well, their attorneys, because of witnesses, the policeman, and the testimony of him being beaten up and what he said, and obviously he was beaten up, the attorneys had them plead guilty. And each one was given a sentence. And then this young man stood up and said this. He said, Your Honor, I would like you, if you would, to total up all the days of punishment against these men, all the time sentenced against them, and I request that you allow me to go to jail in their place. Well, they had never had anybody say this before. It says the attorneys were stunned, and the judge didn't know what to do, and the judge finally said, Son, nothing like this has ever been done or asked of before. And then he said, well, yes, it has. Over 1,900 years ago, somebody stood up for me, stood up for those who would trust in him, and took their sentence upon himself. And he was given 3 or 4 minutes to share with the whole courtroom what Christ had done, what Christ has meant to him. Well, the judge did not allow him to do what he asked to do, but because of what he did and the impact he had, he was able to go into the jail and minister and lead most of those gang members to faith in Jesus Christ. Not even knowing it, he was given a wonderful ministry because he held within his hand this wonderful message to share with the world. And the message is all about Jesus Christ. What are we to do about sin? We're to confess it. What has God done about sin? He made his Son a propitiation for sin. And now Jesus Christ sits at the right hand of God making arguments for us based on what he has done for us on Calvary.